I'm Tanveer Mohammed Masood once again, and today I wanted to discuss a very important topic. It's about obesity, about obese people. Obese, basically people who are very fat, fatter than what is actually permissible in actual health, which person who crosses the actual health limit of being fat. They are basically called obese people who are overweight, who put on loads and loads of weight in their body. They are basically called obese people. Now, how does it feel to be obese? Well, as far as I'm concerned, I have nothing to do with obesity. In fact, I am quite thin, and basically I enjoy being thin. But first of all, let us discuss what actually goes through an obese person. First and foremost, advantage. Come to the advantage part first. The first and foremost advantage that is going to enjoy this obese person would be in the form of being a macho person. He would enjoy loads and loads of advantage in the workplace, at home, outside, wherever he goes. He would get loads and loads of attention from everybody, either from girls, women, from the opposite sex. Everybody would go in and try to give as much respect as possible because he's so macho. He's so handsome looking person. He's so fat. No matter he's so fat, he's so macho looking. Everybody would like to give attention to him. Now, since he's so macho, girls would always give preference to him compared to a thin boy. Thin person would never ever get so much of attention from girls compared to a macho guy who is so obese. No matter he's so obese, so fat, would certainly get loads of attention from girls, and this is the biggest advantage a macho obese person would enjoy. Now, coming to the disadvantage part, obese person are generally seen to be very unproductive. Obese people tend to get exhausted very quickly, but at times we have seen that the obese person have gone on to reach the high level of hierarchy. They are sometimes the most successful people in the world. No matter, we have Mr. Barack Obama, the most thinnest president ever in the history of the United States. We have the president of Britain, or rather the Prime Minister of Britain, who is also very thin. So no matter, obesity does not ever go on to prove that only obese people can be successful, even thin people can be successful. We have this example of Mr. Obama, the President of the United States, and the Prime Minister of Britain as well, who is also very, very thin. He's also the most successful Prime Minister of Britain. Another disadvantage that an obese person would pass through would be in the form of health complexities. Complexities in health, like health issues, diseases, would crop up for an obese person, since he would find it a little difficult to move around. His mobility would be affected, since the body weight would go on to increase like anything, and he would be literally rendered useless. Basically, he would find it very difficult to move around, since his body weight goes on to increase and inflame by every passing day, and I thought that's one of the biggest disadvantages that he would pass through. Well, I thought being a macho, or rather being very fat, does not always imply that he's physically very fit, or rather he's physically very strong. The mass of the body does not always go on to prove that person has got inner strength. Internally, he's very strong. It's only got to do with the masses, with the fats that he has developed. It only proves that he has developed loads of fat in his body, and it actually proves that the person is not always strong enough. This fat and this obese body does not always got to do with the strength of the person. It's basically got to do with fate. He becomes overweight with every passing day, and that's what actually obesity is all about. Now, if we compare an obese person with a thin person, He's not actually underweight. He's quite average looking, average having average weight as per his or her height. If we compare an obese person with a thin person is basically seen to be very active. He's very active in his work. He enjoys his work. He does his work more productively in this stipulated time. He's able to move around. He's seen as someone who's very smart enough. He's quite handsome looking physically. Mentally, he's very fit. Physically, quite fit. His body weight is as per his height, and he is at times seen to be a suitable candidate by the hirers and recruiters as well. Basically, and especially in the hospitality industry, like in the airlines industry, in hotels industry, thin people are generally preferred. People having weight as per their height, they are really desirable for a suitable job in hospitality and airline industry, in the aviation industry, for the position of flight attendants, cabin crew, ground staff. They are basically people who have their body weight as per their height, and they are basically seen to be people who are basically very thin. They are not obese at all. So obese people generally are not considered for a job in hospitality as well as in aviation industry. I thought this was one of the biggest disadvantage for the obese people. Now coming to thin people, people who are not basically very bulky, people, thin people are basically seen to be someone who are very outspoken. They are basically very, they have loads of gall and gumption in their heart. They are internally very strong enough. They are very outspoken, and this is one of the most important feature and most important benefit that a thin person pass through. They have this knack of giving a pat reply, giving some being outspoken is one of the main feature of a thin and not quite bulky person. And I thought compared to obese people, they are basically very extrovert, and I thought me being thin, I'm not quite extrovert, but quite outspoken at times. So I tend to become extrovert. But basically, as survey shows that thin people are basically very outspoken, and they basically have this knack of giving pat reply to their opponents, to their rivals. And I thought one of the biggest disadvantage for a thin person is that they have little or no girlfriends at all. They find it little difficult to make girlfriends or friends who are girls. They have little knowledge of how to go about to make friendship with girls. They are seen to be someone who are very shy in nature when it comes to making friendship with girls or having some sort of relationship with girls, or making girlfriends. They are basically they are seen someone who are basically very very uninterested, or should I say they are very shy. I shouldn't say they are uninterested, but they find it a little difficult to mix up with girls. I thought this is one thing that I too suffer from, and I would like to overcome this problem of mine in the coming days. Well, as I said, teen people are one of the successful people in the world. They are basically someone who can reach the pinnacle of success by dint of their knowledge and intelligence. We have this example of Mr. Barack Obama, who is one of the thinnest president of United States, and as I said, the Prime Minister of Britain is also quite thin, and you have several other thin people who have made it to the top of their career, and they are one of the most successful people in the world. Well, at the end, I would like to say that whether a person is obese or thin, what really matters is that a person eats that amount of food that is basically required for him to sustain, for him to survive a healthy life, a life that is free from all sorts of diseases, from all sorts of hassles, from difficulties that leads to mental and physical elements. A person should always eat healthy and be healthy. And I thought overeating is the last thing that a person should do. And a person can survive by eating little food, but a person can not always lead a healthy life by eating, or rather by overeating. Overeating always and might always lead to some sort of problems, physical and mental ailments might crop up. A person should eat that much of food that is generally required for him to stay healthy, to remain physically and mentally healthy, and that could also go on to upgrade his intelligence. Thank you very much.